Hello there and welcome to the show. It's today's United Kingdom talk. I thought we'd better start off today with the other half of the email from Suko, because she gets very upset when she doesn't get mentions. Suko is one of our longest, I was going to say longest living then, but no, oh that makes you sound old, Suko, doesn't it, eh? Longest living contributors. No, that's wrong, isn't it? That's an incorrect use of the English language. Suko is one of our longest serving contributors to the show. Now, she used to contribute so much to this programme, but now, you know, we are honoured and lucky to get an email now once in a blue moon. I mean, we really are, because she's just so busy with all her theatre work and meeting celebrities. Recently, she sent some pictures of her meeting Snow Patrol, which must have been marvellous for them, Suko. I bet you sat there. Did you cook them one of your famous Chinese English meals? Eh? Did you? Suko has offered me to cook me a Chinese meal when I go over at some point in my sad, lonely, depressing life to New York. But I don't know. I mean, I can't be doing... Look, Suko, let's put our cards on the table. I'd rather you invite me over and we'll have a Domino's pizza together. I'd like that so much better than a Chinese meal. Can you do... Would you agree to that? Would you agree to that smaller... I don't want to sound diva-ish. You know, making demands left, right and centre. And all that. I don't want to sound diva-ish, but just a small request of a lovely Domino's pizza with... Can I push the boat out and ask for pineapple on it as well? Do you mind, lovey? Thank you, Suko. Anyway, so we'll carry on with this email that we only had time to read half of last week. He's and Suko's... I don't know what's wrong with her, dear. And she's got a bit upset about something. She says, furthermore, Mr. Schmearden, she can't pronounce her R's. I don't know what, I think it's some sort of speech thing there. She now pronounces R's with SCH. So my name is Reardon, so she calls me Schmearden. I don't know why that's happened, some sort of speech impediment that suddenly she's got over the last few months for some reason, which I don't know why. She says, it's clear that you have no respect for me. My dear, I have respect for all people, of all nations, of all religions, of all colours. But perhaps not you. I'm never mentioned as part of the Matinee team. Now, the Matinee is a podcast done by my dear friend, James Dean. OK, you can find that at matineeshow.co.uk. Bit hard to find on iTunes, OK? matineeshow.co.uk. Oh, I've got news about iTunes about this show as well, OK? That's coming up in a minute. She says, I'm never mentioned as part of the Matinee team because Suko writes. She writes little articles and reads them on the telephone or on her Skype for the Matinee show. She is part of that show. Dare I say, more part of that show than this. You see, because what James Dean does, he hoovers up. He finds celebrities that are on this programme and then steals them for his own sad little podcast. He really does. He says, I've never mentioned as part of the Matinee team, Seb, who, don't get me wrong, I adore, who has only been with the show for 1 week, for 1 year. I've been on weekly for 2 years since day one at Tameside, and before that, even on Gadio. And me, Suko, a legend for 3 years on United Kingdom Talk. Well, you are, dear. But people are forgetting you, dear. I'm sorry, you're moving out of the spotlight, dear. It's not me. I mean, the emails have virtually stopped from you. I'm lucky to get one every 3 or 4 weeks now. You've got to remain in the spotlight, dear. It's like me doing this show. The moment I stop doing that, within 2 hours of me finishing this show, I will be forgotten and lost forever. In the dust that surrounds this planet. Fired into space, dear, and unwanted, as indeed I virtually am now. It's awful. She says, you know, there are those who think my segment is the best thing on the Matinee show. Well, who are they then? I haven't met any of them. I think you're living in the realms of fantasy there, Suko. I really do. Okay, she says, they're all relatives. Ah, now we're getting closer to the truth. And close friends, but still. And another thing, when you read my emails, you never read them straight through. What do you mean off? What do you mean I never read them straight through? I think I have actually, do you mean, I mean, when James Dean was here a few weeks ago, I did ask him to read an email when I got caught short and I needed to use the toilet. Do you remember? And this email was from Susan, our cat lover, and it was about a page and a half long. And I went to the toilet. I can only have been in there less than a minute. I came back. He'd nearly finished the email. Talk about rush things, dear. Have you ever heard Matinee Show? He rushes people. I've heard it. Come on, you must have heard that. When James Dean is doing matineeshow.co.uk, he rushes through everything. I've noticed that. The only thing he doesn't rush through is the music tracks that he play. And even then I've thought, is that on fast forward? I thought to myself, I'm sure he's speeded up some of those tracks. He rushes through and he rushes people around. I've heard them. Oh, well, we've got to go now. And another thing that annoys me, there's something that annoys me about James Dean's show. He keeps saying something. Now, have you any idea what that is? Any idea at all? No, it's not a name or a person or a place. He keeps saying, moving swiftly on, and it does my brain in. It's like, you know, when you're having a conversation with people and they keep saying, you know. Now, I admit, I was guilty of that when I first did this show, but my dear friend Richard in London corrected me, and I do like a little bit of correction now and again. Come on, ladies, we all like a bit of correction now and again, don't we? Eh? By our men. Unfortunately, there's not one here to give me correction. Just the cat, and she moans all the time. Katie. I don't know what you mean by wandering off from emails. I really don't, darling. Oh, talking of Katie, here's a question for Susan, the cat lover. Katie, my cat, I might have mentioned this on the last show, I can't remember, has moved into the shed. Now, why has she done that? For years, my gorgeous Katie girl, who's about 10 years old now, was happy to live in the kitchen on her little duvet, a pet duvet that is washed weekly. Or perhaps sitting on top of one of the chairs, waiting for me to return home from work late at night. But recently, she has moved out of the kitchen and into the shed. Now, the shed is where my other cat, Tiny, used to live until she died in January. And since then, the shed has been empty. There's a bit of carpet in there. It's not cold. It's not cold in the shed. There's a bit of carpet in there and that. But why is she now preferring to sleep in the shed rather than in my house? Does anyone know why that's happened? I haven't been cruel to her. In fact, I've been more than loving, perhaps overpowering. Maybe my cat now sees me as a desperate case and is trying to get away from me. Do you think that's possible? Let me know. There's an email address to the show, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. There is also a text-in number, what you can on your mobile text recording instruments. I shall give you the text number shortly. Back to the email before we digress too much. Now, what was she saying? Oh, yes. And another thing, when you read my emails, you never read them straight through. Flies and spiders always seem to appear on your mind, or your mind wanders off on tangents. Don't know what you mean by that, my darling. I try and give you as much, oh, what's the word now? Oh, I'm always doing this, aren't I? Forgetting words that I want to use. As much airtime. I always try and give you as much airtime as I can, Suko. But we are limited to 3 half-hour sessions a week, darling, due to time restrictions. Mine, as in her emails, are the only ones you always do that to. Just another proof that you do not respect me. They lose context and timing. Is someone looking at watches in here then, dear? Who's doing timings now, eh? And that's probably why your friend Niall, who listened to the matinee and criticised it so brutally, probably didn't mention me. Or maybe it's because my segment has nothing to criticise. I think your segment is very, very good, Suko. I listen to it constantly when I want to drift off to sleep. I have it on my earphones. What I do sometimes is I wait for a few weeks, Suko, and I record the matinee show, and I put all the segments together, and I put them on my iPhone, and I leave them next to my bedside cabinet, so that when I'm tired I can slowly drift off, listening to you droning on and on and... So herefore you and your friend Niall will no longer be hearing from me on United Kingdom Talk. That's from Suko Sullivan, Broadway correspondent to the matinee show. P.S. You think that week at your sister's was a vacation for you? It was more of one for me. What, you mean the week we had off? P.P.S. Love to my friends, Lisa, Matty, Robert, Doug, Irvin Distiller, Susan, Carl, Maureen and all. I'm sorry that you won't be hearing from me ever again on United Kingdom Talk. If you miss me at all, you can listen to me live on the Matinee Live Sundays and download it from matineeshow.co.uk, matineeshow.co.uk and iTunes, if you can find it on iTunes. So there we are. What do you say on that then? Suko's last ever email to the show. Terrible, isn't it? Suko's last... We're never going to hear from Suko again. Oh well. You won't be the only one not to love me, Suko. Since then, oddly enough, Suko has sent another email in. So clearly she has lied. And there's one thing I don't like, and that's lying, Suko. You have lied to myself and the people of United Kingdom Talk by saying that was going to be your last ever email, and another one has appeared from you. Or maybe it's someone pretending to be you. Hey? Hi, Chris. I watched the show you did with Millie. It was very touching the way you interacted with her. No, we weren't touching each other, dear. We were just talking. Is that what you meant? It was very touching. Oh, sorry. It was very touching the way you interacted with her. It's funny, we stayed in the Holborn area too. We had looked into that particular Marriott, but it was a little too pricey for us, but liked where we stayed anyway. Yeah, I mean, that Marriott, that must have been at the top of the tree hotel. I personally would never stay in a really, really posh hotel. Number one, it would have cost a fortune, an absolute fortune. You know, and number two, for me, staying in a posh hotel doesn't really do it for me. I mean, are you in the hotel a lot of the time? Now, one must remember that Millie was indeed in the hotel some of the time for rest periods, okay? So she did spend quite a lot of time in there, as well as going out for trips and things like that. But yeah, I wouldn't stay in a posh hotel, although it was very nice. You know, if I was to win one in a competition, all well and good, I could take a friend with me. Except, I don't think I've got anyone to take with me. Maybe I could take the cat. She could come in the hotel with me, couldn't she? Suko says, where they stayed was like having our own place in London. It's too bad you didn't get a chance to come up. It was very nice. Yeah, that is a shame, actually. I would like to have come up and seen your room. Why was... Oh, yes, I think you were very tired after that day, wasn't it? That I remember now. But, yes, I like the idea, actually, Suko, of actually renting out someone's flat. You know, and having your own apartment. When I go on holiday, I do kind of like to go around to supermarkets and see how other people kind of live where I'm going. So I know what you're saying there. She said, on your show you mentioned the window cleaner was a pain. Did you mean a pain, P-A-I-N-S? P-A-I-N or P-A-N-E? Ah, very funny, Suko. One of your not-so-funny jokes again, my darling. I do try and laugh at your jokes, but it is very, very hard, dear. P.S. Now, here's the good news. Jade, her daughter, got a part in a professional production of the Nutcracker. I know the music to that. Was that the Nutcracker or Sleeping Beauty? I can't remember. I'd love to see a ballet. I've never been to see a ballet. Do you think I could do ballet? I can see myself jumping up and down. And what is that thing they do when they stand on their toes? How do they do that? I've tried it so many times, and it's most annoying when you break a nail. They must break loads of nails when they stand on their toes, mustn't they? Do you think? I don't know, dear. So congratulations to Jade. I'm very impressed. A professional production of the Nutcracker she's in. She's in the Snow Corp. I call it the Snow Patrol Corp. What is the Snow Corp? I don't know what that is, darling. You'll have to tell me. I'm so proud of her. Yeah, you and me alike, my darling. That's fantastic. It gave me the lift I needed. Well, maybe you should have some other lift, Suko. What about a facelift? Have you ever had a facelift? I'm thinking of having one, you know. You have to do... It kind of pulls all your skin. Try it now, Suko, in the mirror. I tell you what, anyone else listening or watching the show at the moment, try it in the mirror. Go up to a mirror, put one hand on one side of your face, one hand on the other side of the face, and pull back. Right? And that is how you'll look if you have a facelift. I mean, it can be a little bit painful, right? But that's it. Pull your face back like you're having a facelift. Eh? Who's that woman who had too many? There's been a couple, isn't there? Oh, Sylvester Stallone's mum. What's her name? Jackie Stallone. Oh, my God. How many facelifts has she had, dear? Don't look right, does it? It really doesn't look right. My mother, Suko's mother is no longer with us, I'm afraid, would also be proud. Oh, shoot, she probably knows. Of course she does. She's watching from up there, dear. I've been missing her more than ever. Does it get any easier? What, missing your mum? Oh, Suko. No, it doesn't, I'm afraid. You have to learn to live with it. That's what I've learned. My mum's been gone. It'll be 9 years in November. And there's not a day that goes past without me thinking of her several times. Not just once, several times. And I'll tell you what, there's not a single night, there's not one time when I've gone to bed I haven't thought about my mum since she died. Not a single night. So I'm afraid, no, it doesn't get any easier. But I think you have to live with it. You learn to live with it. All right? Oh, Suko. Oh, I want to give you a cuddle now. All right, boys and girls. Once again, the email address to the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. The texting number, if you're in the UK, dial your international access code, followed by 44... Oh, sorry, I've got that wrong. If you're in the UK, the texting number is 07815 907 896. Once again, 07815 907 896. If you want to do it internationally, quite easy, just dial your international access code, followed by 44 for the UK, 7815 907 896. Once again, 44 for the UK, 7815 907 896. And someone wrote, I can't remember who it was, said, how much does it cost to text? Right, well, if you're in the UK, that is just a normal mobile phone number. So it will just cost you one text. There's no premium rate or anything like that. It's just a spare mobile phone that I set up to do this, and that's it. Similarly, if you want to do it internationally, it will cost you whatever it usually costs for you to send a text internationally. All right, my darlings? So that's the text number. Right, news of Gwen. Gwen is doing radiotherapy at the moment. The first time she had it, she said she was feeling quite sore afterwards and was kind of, kept having to move her legs around and all that. But that seems to have settled down now, so the radiotherapy is taking place at the moment. I speak to her most days on the telephone, and she's in very, very high spirits indeed. And I think it's always important, if you have something as serious, if you didn't know, Gwen has cancer at the moment in the ladies' parts in the cervix, and that's being they're trying to sort that at the moment. All right, and if you have something really serious, it's important to be upbeat, almost sometimes perhaps to laugh. I know this sounds stupid, but to actually laugh at what you've got and joke about it. Now, there will be many people who would not agree with that. But if you are the person with whatever it is you have and you are joking about it, then I think it's acceptable. I've known people with various ailments, some who recovered, some who didn't. But a lot of them joke about what they have. And I think that's a good way to be. I don't know what you think about that. Let us know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Of course, if you are someone who is a relative or wife, husband, brother, sister, whatever, of a person that has got it, and they are joking about it, I'm aware that that can be quite hard on you. But if you know someone who's sick and they are joking about it, try and go along with them, because it will probably make them feel better. Remember, when someone's ill, it's about them, not you. Although it's very hard on you, it is all about them. And if joking about something very serious is how they try and cope with it, then I think one should go along with it. All right, let us know what you think on that one. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is my email address. Now, we'll carry on with the emails, actually, all right, because we've got quite a few here to do at the moment. Incidentally, those of you that had subscribed on iTunes for the videos to the show, I'm afraid that no longer works. The iTunes video feed has now ceased. Now, the reason is I was using a service called Blip TV, okay, which worked to a point. It was a paying thing, I had to pay for this service, which wasn't an astronomical fee, but nevertheless, it was a service I paid with, and I've decided it came to the end of the period, and they wanted me to pay again. But after checking, and I'm never led by numbers, as you know, whether one person watches this show or 10,000, it makes no difference to me. It would be the same show. The more the merrier. Yes, of course, the more the merrier. But if one person enjoys it, to me, it's worth doing. Now, the thing is with the Blip TV, which is where the iTunes thing came from, there were only 10 to 15 downloads of that each time I put it up. So I've decided it really wasn't worth the money doing that. Now, by far, most people watch this show via the YouTube link or the current TV link. And it's very, very easy. All you have to do is go to watch the show, go to unitedkingdomtalk.tv. Okay, unitedkingdomtalk.tv is where you'll find this show, and it changes on Tuesdays. It will change by, perhaps I should say it like that, it changes by Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 12 midday. Sometimes it changes quite late the night before, sort of 10:30 at night, so that it's ready for the next day. Okay, so that's very easy. If you have been watching the show on Blip TV, it's no longer on there. I've just put the whole lot now on YouTube and Current TV, and the best way to find that is go to unitedkingdomtalk.tv. Of course, the main website for the show, where you can watch or listen whenever you want, and they go right back to October 2005. So we are... Oh, hang on a minute. Are we now... Oh, I can't remember the date. Are we now 4 years old? October 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we're 4 years old. Is it this week? Oh, I can't remember. We should have had a birthday cake. Oh, yeah. I mean, any excuse to get a birthday cake here in the studio, please. I think we're 4 years old. Anyway, the main website for the show, go there anytime, is www.unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. The older shows are an hour long. We're only half an hour long now, just due to my time, really. Okay? Now, talking of Gwen, so she's in high spirits, not doing too well. A letter here from Lisa in California. And by the way, all the emails you send me, okay, I read to her over the phone. And you did have her in tears the other day because of your lovely emails. In a nice way, though, okay? And Lisa in California writes, my prayers and thoughts are with you, Gwen. Such a sweet and fun lady. I hope she proves all doctors wrong and is back on your show soon. As for the vote on your showtime change, I vote for 3 times 30 minutes a week too, which is now what we're doing. Thank God I am voting with the majority for once. Lisa in California. So thank you for that, Lisa. Very nice to hear from you, my darling. Now, Mark. Hello, Mark. Writes about hip replacement operations because my friend Jason, who's only 34, recently had a hip replacement operation. I'm going down to see him tomorrow, I think, actually. Hi, Chris. I had a total hip replacement. I couldn't walk at all before the hip replacement. After 4 days after the operation, I could walk without pain, which is just fantastic. I'll ring up my friend Jason and read this to him. You can't lift your knees or bend more than 90 degrees, or you could dislocate the hip. Only a couple of months. I can now dance and mince again. Mince again, Dave. Mark, rather. What are you like? Mincing? We don't have any mincing on this show. We're all real men here, you know. Please, Dave. Why do I keep calling you Dave? Mark. And where are you, Mark? You haven't told me where you are. You're hiding. Oh, he's somewhere in the UK. He says, while I was in hospital before the operation, Andy, a young, cute male nurse, oh, I'm liking the sound of that, came to take blood. He tried 3 times in one arm and twice in the other and couldn't get any blood. At this, he said, sorry, I better get someone else to do it or I'll be pricking you all day and night. I looked at him and to a background of laughs from other patients, he looked at me, blushed and walked quickly out of the ward. We love it. We love to embarrass them like that. Thank you, Mark. Where is this young, cute nurse? How old is he? Does it say here? Did you say 24? For some reason, I thought you said 24. No, it doesn't say that. Yeah, we all want some of that. Thank you very much. Send them round. We don't want some scrubby old cow, do we, looking after us chaps? We want young, cute nurses. That's what we are. Ladies for the straight boys, and boys for the straight boys, for the gay boy. That's what we want in hospitals. And please, a decent meal or two. Just time for one more email from Yvonne. Hello, Yvonne, who writes about the show that we recently did with Millie. Lovely show. I've known Millie for years now, and it was good to see her. She's a very special person. Oh, she certainly is. And very quickly, also, we'll just get this one in from Niall. Really good show with Millie. She's excellent. Hats off to her and her energy. Guests seem to add something special. Regards from Niall in Switzerland. And that's it for the show today. As always, thank you very much for watching and listening. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is my email address. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. See you on the next show. Bye-bye.